convened in the National Security Bureau with the country's president discussing developments in Russia. That's according to a government spokesperson. Speaking to the BBC, the Polish government described the situation as, quote, uncertain and dynamic. Well, let's head now to Poland and speak to our next guest. Good to get your assessment on these things, but just give us a sense of what your government and the National Security Bureau, what they've been discussing, what are they looking out for, what are their main concerns? News, Ukraine's counteroffensive is also continuing.
Indeed, and if I were Ukrainian, that's exactly what I would be doing. Trying to take advantage of the confusion in Russia. Wagner seems to be in charge in some way.
Is saying, look, when we don't know, this is all sort of speculation in terms of the number of Wagner forces who are with Mr. Prigozhin at this stage. But it is going to, if Russia is going to want to quash this, it is going to have to look at how many troops it has deployed in Ukraine and perhaps take away resources from there.
There are some reports to that effect already, but of course we don't know how reliable they are. Purge, just like Erdogan did a purge after his coup, or you can even go back in history in 1944 after the Stauffenberg coup against Hitler. 5,000 people were killed.
Throughout the day, been describing this as a rebellion question.
Elba, it is on a...
Because amid mutiny in the last few minutes, AFP is reporting that President Zelensky says that Vladimir Putin is very scared and probably hiding amid mutiny. I mean, you've been watching Vladimir Putin for a long time. When we have seen, and we haven't seen this kind of crisis to his or threat to his power in the last 20 years, but when there has been some semblance of crisis, he does sort of go quiet for a while.
Well, last time in 2011, if you remember, there were huge...
...on this. There's just such a big developing situation here. We're getting line after line. But Belarus's president's office has said that Russian mercenary leader Prigozhin has agreed to stop movement of Wagner fighters around Russia. Again, we're trying to verify all of this information, but it just gives you a sense, Mr. Surkowski, just how fluid this situation is.
Yes, there are, I think, splits inside the Russian elite. I don't think Prigozhin could have done it without some insider help. And